Welcome to today's video, you guys. I am sharing with you my newborn regrets. These are all of the products that I regret buying or regret registering for, things that we never use. If it's your first time here, hello, my name is Molly. I am a mama to two. I have a 2-year-old boy, and then I also have a 5-month-old daughter. And this is going to be the products that I wish I'd never purchased or gotten for them that I just honestly never used. Now that I've had Penelope, my second child, for 5 months, I feel like there's even more things that I'm like, I should have never gotten this, because I actually thought like maybe I'll use it for the second child, and I held on to things, but like I did not use them at all. So let's start. First thing I would say was probably my biggest regret out of like everything is the Touch. I feel like I got talked into this one. I know it's kind of one of those things that like people either love or they hate. I feel like I fall in the category of just like hate, but not like fully. I just think it's a waste of money. They are so expensive. Like this thing was, I got it on sale too. I think I paid like $130 on sale, but regularly they're like $200. And it's just like this little thing that they sit in. And honestly, like neither one of my kids liked this. They didn't really like just like laying flat like this. If I was setting them down in something, I was using our Boppy lounger, which I actually love that thing. I'm so sad because that was actually recalled, so you can't use it anymore. But that was what my kids like lived in as far as like sitting in, like somewhere next to me. But this just, neither one of them liked laying flat. And we didn't co-sleep or do anything else. I know people like co-sleep with this thing, but for me, it was just like a complete waste. It was so much money. And I held on to it I didn't use it at all with Rowan, and I held on to it for Penelope. And I was like, maybe I'll use it with her, but we didn't use it at all. I don't think I've honestly maybe even set her in this once. Like that's how little I use this thing. And then the next item is another like bigger item, and this is the My Breastfed nursing pillow. I also never used my Boppy. So I will say that I know everyone says like you need a nursing pillow, so I know you're probably still gonna like get one if you're looking for ideas for your registry or your baby and like trying to figure out what you need. You probably will get one of the two pillows, but for me, I just never used either one of them for breastfeeding. I would rather just like hold my babes or put a pillow. Honestly, a pillow works the same. You put a pillow like there to support you if you want to. I just didn't like the whole like process of getting this. I just feel like it was an extra step to like go, have to get my pillow, have to like, this one that has a buckle. I will say the support is nicer on this one than the like Boppy one, but I just never used it. I feel like it was such an extra step, and I didn't find it to be that comfortable. Also, both of my children, I don't think either one of my kids actually liked laying on this thing either. Like, I feel like it was just such a thing when I had them on this. They were like more fussy and stuff. I just feel like it was just easier to just hold them. So that personally, I just don't really think that these are necessary, and I never used them. So I'll be gifting mine to someone else just because we never used them at all. I know some people use their Boppy for like the kids to like lounge on and play on and stuff when they get older. I haven't gotten it out for Penelope, but I could get it out for her, so she has that. But I just wouldn't really recommend getting those. I would try just like freehanding first and seeing how you do with that, and then if you feel like you want more support or something, you can always order one. The best thing about like living in the times we live in is like Amazon. You can get something in like sometimes a day or 2 days. So I feel like it's not as necessary to have all these extra things. Like if you feel like you need something, you can just go and get it and order it, and then it's there for you. And then a few larger items, some more larger items that I have is the humidifiers. We have went through, this is our 3rd humidifier, and they break so easily. This is the Frida one, and I will say that this one's a little bit better than the other one we had, was like the Vicks one. They break like so easily. They leak everywhere. I don't know what it is, but like I have had zero luck with finding a good humidifier. So I would just say, honestly, they're such like a waste of money for us, because we've purchased, like I said, this is our 3rd one. So hundreds of dollars in humidifiers, and like they don't work, and they just don't work. They leak. So if you guys have a recommendation for one that like doesn't do that, let me know. But they've just been such a waste of money for us, and I regret registering for them. I regret getting them because I really just feel like they are just like messes waiting to happen. They leak everywhere, like I said, and it was more hectic to try and fill this up all the time and it leaking everywhere than it was to just like not have it. And I know you should have one, but I can't figure it out. And then I also do regret getting our diaper genie. Now, I watched a lot of these videos before I did do my registry, and I know a lot of people regretted getting theirs as well, and I should have just listened. There's like some things where repeatedly people say not to get something, you're like, well, but I might use that. That's how I felt about the Touch. And I should have just listened, because obviously, you know, these moms know from using the things, but the diaper genie is such a waste of money in my opinion. We had one with Rowan and we used it for a while, but eventually it just stopped working. And and like the odor was like coming out of the genie. And so we had to like throw it out. And then we were gonna replace it, like buy a new one, but I'm like, what is the point? So all we did was buy a trash can and just buy like the trash bags that go in it, but it's just like a regular trash can. I think it was like $20. And it's just supposed to be like an odor trash can. We keep that in our garage and we just take the diapers out there. Honestly, for the first like 5-6 months of their life, the diapers don't even smell, so you don't even need to put them in a diaper genie. You can just put them in your regular trash. It's really when your baby starts having like solids that you need to use that, especially for my toddler now. But we just take it outside to the garage and then just put it in that trash bin out there, and it's just as fine, and it's not like something stinky in our house that every time you open it like smells. It's kind of a gross concept when you actually think about it. They're just sitting in your child's room. So when it does stop working, it's pretty nasty, let me tell you. But I just regret getting that. Plus the refills are so expensive. So the one that we have now is just, like I said, a regular trash can. It's just like odor proof. And we just use our regular trash bags in there. So it's not, you know, pricey or anything. But the ones for the actual diaper genies, like those are so expensive for the trash bags. So yeah, just recommend skipping that altogether. Trust me, it's not worth it. Just get a regular trash can and you'll be just as happy. The next thing I have is my Skip Hop diaper bag. So I actually got rid of this. We had a garage sale, so I sold it. But this to me was such a purchase that like is typical of me, because I always try to buy like the best deal or like find the best alternative. And I ended up getting this Skip Hop diaper bag thinking like, oh, it'll be similar to the Itsy Bitsy one that I really wanted because it looked similar. You could tell it was like almost a dupe version, and I hated this diaper bag. And it wasn't cheap still. Like I want to say it was like $60, so it was still pretty pricey comparative to like the Itsy Bitsy ones that are like $150. It was, you know, cheaper, so that's why I got it. But honestly, just splurge and get the nice diaper bag. It doesn't have to be the Itsy Bitsy one, but I really love ours. We got the Chelsea and Cole bag, and I absolutely love our diaper bag now. But it doesn't necessarily have to be that one, but I would say invest in it. It is something you're going to have for a long time, especially if you're planning to have multiple kids. I don't think it's worth it to just get like a cheap one, just because you can definitely feel the cheapness in it. And also like with the compartments and the zippers and all the things, like I feel like it's better to just invest in a better quality one, since that you're going to have it a long time and be using it a long time. So that's just something I would recommend actually with a lot of baby stuff, but especially with your diaper bag. I thought I was going to be one of those moms, but I was not one of those moms who made the baby food. This is the Squeeze Station food making kit. I can tell you this has been out of the box one time, and it was because my little sister was going to make food. I have never attempted to use this thing. I was so excited for it. I was like, I'm totally going to use it. You know, all you have to do is like put the food in there and squeeze it out. It makes the pouches. No. Honestly, my son didn't really use pouches too much. Like I didn't really buy them for him. I was more buying like the jars of baby food, or when he was ready for pouches, I was just giving him like actual like fruits and things, because I feel like it was just as easy to like cut him up some fruit as it was to give him a pouch. I know they can walk around with those, but he still kind of made a mess with them. He would like get the stuff everywhere, so it just wasn't worth it to me. So I never really used the actual pouches, so maybe if I did, then I'd be more willing to make the food. But honestly, I feel like unless if you're going to be that mom that's going to be like super into doing all of that, I wouldn't get those. Even if you think for a second, like, I don't know if I'll use that, don't get it. You can always wait and see too. Like if you are someone who is making a lot of baby food, then you can purchase that if you think it'll be of use to you. But I wouldn't recommend registering for it, because honestly, it's probably just going to sit in your cupboard and be an extra item that you're never going to use. A couple of clothing items I have for you is hats. I never use the hats with my kids. I will say, you use like sun hats and you use like winter hats. Definitely use both of those. But the actual like hats that they have for babies, I feel like I never put my kids in those. So you have like the ones they give you from the hospital, and we had like the baby in that, I'd say for like the first day or something, and then we just didn't use hats. I don't know. I've never seen like a baby that was actually wearing a hat all the time. And Roden was a winter baby, but we still never had him like in that. I feel like he got really warm when he was wearing a hat. So I would just recommend not getting them all together. Like a lot of the outfits will come with them. So if you want to have a hat, then I'm sure an outfit you have will have one attached to it, and you have one, and you don't need to use like 10 different hats. You can just get like one neutral one if you want to. But I feel like we never used those. Winter hats we did use, and then like I said, the summer hats with Penelope, because she was a summer baby, we did use those. But the actual like baby hats with the little knots and all the things, we never used. Mittens. These are baby mittens. I feel like I had so many baby mittens, and I do like these ones. We did use them with my son. They have like the more elastic type of style, so they did stay on pretty well, and we did use them. But 90% of the clothing he was wearing had these attached to it. So Penelope, actually, I don't think I ever had her in a pair of mittens, like ever, because I really had her in sleepers 90% of the time. And all of the sleepers come, not all of them, but honestly 99.9% of them have the covers for their hands. So there's really no reason to get the mittens. They're honestly just something extra to have in their drawers that you're losing. So I would just stay away from them. If you are going to get them, get ones that are a higher quality, not just like the cheap ones because they'll stay on better. But I would just recommend skipping them altogether because the sleepers that they're going to be in are going to have them and you don't really necessarily need them. And then also baby blankets. I feel like I have so many baby blankets from Rowan and just from Penelope. I feel like people love to gift those, but I just never really needed this many. I feel like you can have, I would have like a thicker option and then a few maybe muslin ones and then be good to go. Like I had a bunch of flannel ones with Rowan, like the receiving blankets. I had cozy blankets. I had so many for him and we hardly used them. I would use like one to put over him if he was like in the swing or something, or if I laid him down, I had one. Sometimes I use these as like little cover-ups or something just because I had them, but I don't feel like I was ever like needing a blanket for him. Again, he kind of ran warm, so we never had him like bundled up, but a couple of blankets will do. It's not like you're having to wash them a ton either. And I honestly have so many in his room still that he just never uses. So I do feel like that's something that we had a lot of. So if you do get a lot of them like at your shower or something, you can always exchange them for something else. Baby towels. This is another thing that I feel like is just something that is just a complete waste. Baby washcloths. I don't really understand the concept behind these because they don't really absorb. Like they're not the material of like an actual towel. So when you put your baby in this like soaking wet, they just like literally get like, it doesn't keep them warm and it doesn't really absorb the water. Like you have to kind of like, I just feel like the material of them is just not good. These are the Cloud Island ones, but I just don't recommend getting these at all, these little flimsy towels or the washcloths because they're so tiny and just like not very soft. If you actually just get the neck size up, like the little toddler towels, those work much better. The material on these is a lot better and it actually absorbs the water. Plus they can use these longer. This is just another Cloud Island one, but I would recommend getting these ones. They're so much bigger, so much more absorbent, and your baby will be a lot happier in these because they will be a lot warmer. Honestly, you don't need the baby towels at all. You can just use a regular towel, but I know obviously we all want like cute little baby towels, so you can get them still. I just wouldn't recommend getting like these super thin ones. They normally come in like a 2-pack. And those are like normally a bit cheaper than these ones. I would just splurge and get a couple of those ones because they're much nicer. And then for the washcloths, just buy regular washcloths. I have these ones from Amazon. They come in like a pack of 10 or something, and they're super soft and much larger. The baby ones are so tiny, and again, they're just like not very soft. You can get like better material ones, but I honestly, they're just how small they are. I'd like rather just get a bigger one, and then I feel like you can use it in more areas. And also, I know a lot of people use this to like cover the babies up to keep them warm, and I did the same thing with Penelope, and I just feel like these are much larger to be able to do that. So I'd recommend just getting regular washcloths and get like a big pack of them so you have a bunch of them, and skip away from these. Medicines are up next. This is grape water. I had a bunch of these and I feel like I needed them because everyone told me I needed all of the things. So I had Tylenol, I had all of the baby medicines, and Rowan, my son, hardly used any of them. Penelope's maybe used this like twice. We don't really use it, but I know a lot of people that really do, but I would recommend not getting them until you know what kind of parent you're going to be or what kind of baby you're going to have, because I feel like Rowan was such a chill baby. He never like needed any grape water or anything like that, and I had tons of it and it all expired because it's not good for very long. Like I want to say it's like good for like 6 months or something. So all of that expired, so that was a waste. It's probably good to just have on hand like maybe a Tylenol or something, but really I feel like that stuff is, again, is so accessible. You could just like run up to the store and get it, and also like Amazon it if you need to, as opposed to having it all and having it all expire, because they can be pretty, I mean, they're not super expensive, but when you have, I probably had like 5-6 bottles of stuff and I never used any of it. So I would recommend just kind of being selective if you do want to get some of this stuff, but I would just recommend waiting until you see what kind of baby you have and if you'll even need any of it or you'll even use any of it, and before it expires, because it does. The baby laundry detergent. I feel like that is like one of the bigger scams. Like I feel like there's quite a few scams of like stuff that actually isn't like necessary, and the baby detergent is one of them. First off, the actual baby detergents, most of the ones that I've tried are actually fragranced, which a lot of the stuff, I feel like when you first have a baby, you shouldn't be using fragrance on them because they can have sensitive skin. And a lot of like the Druften stuff has really heavy fragrance in it, like heavier than any laundry detergent I use, like my Tide. It smells more fragrant than any of that. So there's that. But also I feel like you're just fine using a regular like laundry detergent. Like it doesn't need to be baby, you know, sensitive, whatever. I feel like you can just use, we use the All in All fragrance-free line for both the kids, and that just worked just fine. Tide, I think, has one that's fragrance-free. You just find one that's fragrance-free and you're good to go. The Druff ones are also so expensive. Like they're ridiculously expensive. And again, for like, you don't need it. I feel like it's just not necessary to get the baby one. Just go ahead and get like a fragrance-free version and you'll be good to go. I think that is everything that I do have for, I was looking at my list on my phone. I think that's everything that I have. I do have a video up of our favorite baby products. If you want to see like my must-haves, you can check that video out. I also have a video speaking about registry mistakes that I made and things that I recommend you guys register for. You guys can check that out as well. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you are expecting, congrats. I hope that you take everything with a grain of salt and know that you're going to be different than me. I'm going to be different than you. What I'm going to use is different than what you're going to use, and we figure it out and we do the best we can. So anyways, I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye.